Good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to run through some slides as usual, and then we'll talk about how vaccines are going today. Total COVID-19 cases reported today, 146,296. New cases reported today, 84. That is down from 109 cases reported this time last week and 102 cases we reported 2 weeks ago. The overall trend in new cases appears to be trending downward. The 7-day average of cases per day is 84. The 7-day average has also continued a downward trend, down from 91 this time last week and 114 2 weeks ago. We continue to see a downward trend in active cases in every age range, including pediatric cases. Today, we report 20 new pediatric cases and 246 active pediatric cases overall, down from 282 last week and 326 2 weeks ago. Next slide. The 7-day average test positivity rate is now 2.8%, which is down from 3.6% this time last week and 6.8% 2 weeks ago. The lowest positivity rate for tests we have seen during the pandemic was 2.3% back on June 21st, 2021, so we are getting close to that record. Next slide. The effective reproductive number, or RT, of the virus is now 0.83, a slight increase from 0.77 reported last week, but still below 1, meaning that we may be about to reach a plateau, but that the transmission rate is still decreasing in the community. Total COVID-19 hospitalizations today are 93, with 29 in the ICUs and 64 in acute care. Next slide. This chart shows the confirmed cases per 100,000 population for the areas surrounding the Memphis metro area. As you can see, Shelby County is the lowest curve in blue. Next slide. When you compare Shelby County to other metro areas in Tennessee, Shelby County has 9.3 cases per 100,000, a 2.8% test positivity rate, and 45.9% fully vaccinated. In comparison, on this slide for Knox County, you can see Knox County has 13.6 cases per 100,000 and an 8.5% test positivity rate, while having 54% of their population fully vaccinated. Next slide. When you compare us to Hamilton County, we have 9.3 cases per 100,000. Hamilton County has 11.8 cases per 100,000 and a 7.1 test positivity rate, and 50.6% of their population is fully vaccinated. Next slide. And finally, when you look at Davidson County, which is the Nashville metro area, they have 13.6 cases per 100,000 in comparison to our 9.3, with a 6.8 test positivity rate in comparison to our 2.8% test positivity rate, and 57.7% of their population is fully vaccinated. Next slide. This slide just shows what I talked about. Every other county that I have mentioned has a higher vaccination rate than Shelby County, but they also have higher case rates per 100,000 than Shelby County. Next slide. When you look at active cases by age, you see that while cases continue to trend down across every age group, the percentage of the active cases among the 0 to 17 age range has actually increased to 28.1% of all active cases. This supports the continued masking in schools and vaccination of children 5 and older, now eligible for vaccination. Next slide. And this bar graph shows the same thing, where you see decreases across all age groups. But remember, of our active cases, 28% are still children. Next slide. This map shows active cases by zip code. You see that zip codes 38002 currently have the highest concentration of active cases in Shelby County. Next slide. And active pediatric cases are concentrated in the zip codes that are in the darker blue. Next slide. Regarding vaccinations, this chart shows the first, second, and third doses by date, with the third doses in darker blue. Our goal is to increase the number of first and second doses in order to meet our vaccination goal. And of course, as you know, children 5 to 11 are now approved for vaccine, and that should also get us closer to our goal. Next slide. The goal is to have at least 70% of the population fully vaccinated, and that's a goal that was set early on in the pandemic and early on in the period of time when we first had vaccinations. You see, we are more than halfway there to our goal, but we still have a long way to go. That's the end of my slides.